Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Welcome to Arts and Lifestyle Wednesday, presented by Cinematic Visions, and another fine edition, and I'm promising you it's going to be fine, of Danny and Tim's music scene. My legal pad in front of me is chock full of interesting tidbits, and we probably won't even get to all of them, and Tim and I maybe made a decision we just don't want to talk about it, but some things we actually sort of don't want to talk about, we will talk about, but there's many things to be enthusiastic about. New musical releases by acts young and old. Got some documentaries, some interesting passings, a look at some awards situations that maybe defy description or bring up some controversy. And there's all kinds of personalities involved with this, from Orville Peck to Beck to Elton John to all kinds of different folks as well. Sergio Mendes and Pete Wade, two iconic musicians, have passed. Joan Baez. Oasis is finally going to get back together. There's all kinds of things going on, and so let's talk about it. It's always fun. It's always insightful with Tim Finn. You can hear him on 90.9 The Bridge. His Facebook page is fantastic. He writes here and there at various places, and he's here with us every other week, which is just great. And we come your way next on Arts and Lifestyle Wednesday, Danny and Tim's music scene, and it's presented by Cinematic Visions.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Cinematic Visions has been an affordable solution for professional media production in Kansas City since 2003, offering award-winning video production and creation, as well as a wide array of digital and social media management services. From planning, scripting, filming, editing, and post-production, to delivering your product to a watching world, Cinematic Visions will provide professional and affordable services for you and your business with the necessary return on investment to make it all worthwhile. Cinematic Visions' goal is to unlock the power of storytelling through video and a strong online presence for your company. Beyond the numbers, they want to inspire and evoke your clients to feel and act. Let my friends at Cinematic Visions embed your brand where it belongs, in your customers' minds. You can find them online at cinematicvisions.com or with a quick phone call at 816-600-6300.
Did you experience hail damage last year and never got the work done? Most insurance companies only give you a year to get the roof fixed, and if you don't get it done, you could possibly not be compensated in full for the replacement of your roof. If you've been procrastinating getting that damaged roof taken care of, give us a call at 913-257-5426, and we'll send out an expert to help you through the process. We're never pushy, we're just here to help. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business to Kansas City's #1 variety podcast, contact us at danny@dannyclinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you. Welcome back. Well, let's start on what I would consider kind of a real high note. My wife and I were just kicking around doing some music watching about a week ago, and we stumbled upon a couple of new videos from the artist Orville Peck, the alt-country performer who went on a hiatus for about a year and now is back with a bang, and he's got a new album out called Stampede, which came out last month, and there will be an accompanying second edition. And what it is great stuff from Orville Peck, but collaborations with all kinds of prominent people, from Beck to Willie Nelson, also Noah Cyrus, lots of different people, Kylie Minogue, a wide variety of different people that he is collaborating with, Elton John as well. Very talented guy, seems to be in a much better place. He's changed from the fringe mask to just sort of a Lone Ranger mask now, but his singing is still phenomenal, and I used the occasion to go back and listen to a couple of his older videos. It sounds like a really amazing project, and the people who work with him are interviewed in various spots as well and seem to have a great affection for him and admire his really kind of unique and different talent. I'm really looking forward to getting into even more of this, and I don't know what kind of things they're going to do as far as tours are concerned, but my wife now is dying to go see Peck and Beck. I don't know if they're going to tour together, but they did the video together. Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, so I just learned about this when you told me about it before we started recording this, but it's like one of the things I really love about where we are when it comes to technology and the sharing of music is that it can reach people who wouldn't otherwise get it. And so, that Beck heard about Orville Peck when he would not have otherwise in other eras or whatever, right? So, and he decides, yeah, that's someone I work with. So someone like that who's still pretty up and coming can end up getting people like Elton John and Beck on his side and doing a project like this, which is enormous. And I love these compilations. So I'm eager to hear it. He is, I'm glad he's sort of dropping the mask. Like, one of the things about watching The Lone Ranger is, that mask doesn't really obscure you, but okay. So that's fine. That was a put off to some people. I don't care. One of my favorite bands was a band called Clinic that wore surgical scrubs, and
right.
It's like, I don't. The music's great. That's a novelty, but his music is great. So this is a big step for him if he's getting that kind of acknowledgement from stars like Beck and Elton John.
Yeah, I mean, and what he's so open about, most of the songs have some kind of LGBTQ element to them. He's gay. And the song with Willie Nelson is "Cowboys Are Frequently Secretly Fond of Each Other." That's the title of it.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah. That came out a few months ago.
Yeah, yes. And maybe they put it on this.
Man, only Willie would do that.
Right.
Not only Willie. Garth Brooks might. Garth had a gay half sister.
Right.
So, and was always out in front of that. But I love it. I just love everything about it.
Well, and also, I did see this. I didn't remember that we did watch it. The collaboration with Elton John is Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, and it's awesome. So anyway, that should be an absolutely cool project. Mm-hmm. Now, another project that we may not see the light of day with will be something that you have read extensively about, and the New York Times apparently was paralyzingly interested in it because you read an article that was so long you stopped reading it. Netflix has the rights to a 7-hour Prince documentary. There's a lot of legalities involved. Get us up to date.
Right. Yes, it was like, it almost was like I was, a 3-episode streaming series. Like, I had to stop just because reading something on my phone, I hit 20, 25 minutes and I'm done. I'm out. So,
right.
But it was so intense and it was so interesting, and some of it was disturbing. There's stuff I learned about Prince that I didn't want to hear. So some of it wasn't shocking. It has to do with, being physical with a woman. In one instance, it was really disturbing. But, Sinead O'Connor, either she wrote in her book or she just said in an interview, like, she went out to Paisley Park because he invited her, and she had trouble leaving. I'll just put it that way. Like, it was disturbing and
right
and dark. And so in this instance, the instance I'm talking about, he did not instigate it. He was struck first and second, and he responded. But whatever. He's not a big guy either.
Right.
So I'm not judging anything. But it's like, anyway, it's just I want to read that about Prince.
Right.
This is what we were talking about before. There's some people you admire, and you go, oh, I don't want to know that about them. So it looks like because his estate has intervened and there's contention about who owns the right to some of this footage and photos and other stuff. So it was odd that the Times was like, you'll probably never see this. But so I got almost to the end of it, but I was so tired and borderline distraught. I was just like, oh, okay. I know it's out there.
Right. So we'll see if
I would love to see some of the rehearsal footage and like the stuff, the more let it be stuff, that we fall in love with, where music is created, but there's other stuff too.
Well, we'll see if it ever sees the light of day. It is an interesting story, to say the least. Well, one documentary with an iconic musician that is out that has disturbing elements just because it's been a rough ride for her in many ways is Joan Baez. When you have watched Joan Baez perform through the years and seen the arc of her career, it's maybe not that surprising that she dealt with issues of anxiety on stage and, more than that. But in this documentary that you recently watched and I haven't seen yet, that really comes full front.
Yeah, I saw it on Hulu. It came out in theaters. I was waiting for it to stream. I almost saw it in the theater, but it's almost 2 hours. And me sitting in a movie theater for 2 hours, 3 hours used to be my threshold. Now, like 2 hours is, because I watch things in 30-minute installments. But it's on Hulu now. It's free, and I watched it from start to finish. She's someone who was present in my life early because one of my sisters bought the Diamonds and Rust album. And because of her affiliation with Dylan, she was out there in the civil rights movement. She was at Dr. King's speech in Washington.
Yes.
She marched in Selma. She put her safety on the line. But I was just thinking, I know about 5 songs of hers from that record. So my perception of her when it comes to like just her and her music is what I know about her and her music is like 5 to 1. I can name maybe 4 or 5 songs. But she was so prominent, and this documentary brings you into her family life. That's the basis of it. There's a lot of dysfunction. She's the middle of 3 girls. There were lots of rivalries among her and her sisters. Her younger sister, Mimi, had a music career. There was both her sisters died before she did of cancer, but she was like losing her younger sister was the worst, and they had reconciled. And then her parents, her dad, there were accusations of abuse from her sister and from her. They don't really go into that. They just suggest it. And then she just talks about her love affair with Dylan and how that broke her heart. And then it kind of jumps around, but it's also, you get a picture of her that's like so deep and so broad. And what a gentle soul she is, but how tormented she was, probably because she was so much of an empath and felt a lot. And there's a scene with her and her mother who is in hospice at the end stage of life, and she's spoon feeding her mother. It's either yogurt or ice cream, I couldn't tell, but and then her mother reaches out and just like touches her hair like you would your 3-year-old. It's so overwhelmingly tender. But that's what this film is like. It's so open and candid. It's another one where I would go back and watch it in a little bit. It's like the Karen Carpenter documentary. Like you get a much deeper understanding of who they were as women, as people, and not just, on stage with Dylan or Dr. King.
Well, if I knew how to do a segue, we would already be talking about the classic albums we watched recently, which was done of which is a series you can get on Access TV or several places around, or you can just look it up, I'm sure, on YouTube. It's a good series, and usually it heavily involves the person who engineered and or produced the record. In this case, Gus Dudgeon, who was really good in this, and they'll bring out individual parts of the music and just a vocal or things like that, and then there's interviews. It's they're very well done, and if you like a certain album, it's just great. And Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, the song itself, I don't really like that much, but I love the album, and there's a lot of great songs on it, and Funeral for a Friend and Love Lies Bleeding, and Saturday Night, It's All Right for Fighting, which of course I mentioned before, which would have been a perfect segue, which I didn't do. But this is a very, very interesting, and Bernie Taupin's lyrics, and this is before Elton John's severe self-destruction, so he's talking about a happy period in his life where these guys, Davy Johnstone and Nigel Olsson and the band all got together, and they really were a band at that time. And these things are cool. This is a fantastic record, and the collaboration between those two with basically Bernie Taupin just writing the lyrics first and Elton John, it's kind of a unique collaboration in that way. So it was really fun to watch.
I love the title track, by the way. Sorry to disagree. I don't like it. It's just not one of my favorites on the record. I don't dislike it. My favorite song on that record is the Roy Rogers song.
All right, that's a great.
John can write a country song. Like he's written in Honky Chateau and Tumbleweed Connection. There are absolute country infused songs on there. So I just love that. I love the whole sentiment of that song. A kid watching Roy Rogers and turn off the TV, shut off the lights, or turn on the TV, shut out the lights. Roy Rogers is riding tonight. It's just beautiful. That's